support you have shown in your community by attending today's rally and to stop the closure of our much needed birth and labour unit here in Murwillumbah. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rachel Bryant and I'm a local mum here in town. I had my third baby Grace under the excellent care of the midwife's caseload programme here at the hospital last year. I can't speak highly enough of the level of treatment I received prior, during and after the birth. For me, it allowed me to have what felt like a home birth while still being under medical care. When it was brought to my attention last week that the unit was to close, I was asked if there was anything I could do to highlight this devastating decision. I have been involved with friends of the Tweed Valley Birthing Service, which was started by Lana Johnson, a site to show midwives the support for their work, encouraging continuity of care and the benefits of keeping local services local. It was at that point that I decided to start a petition to overturn the closure. I had no idea how far this would go, and with the help of some amazing people and social media, we saw over 1,000 signatures on the first day. The petition has now reached far and wide, and as of today, we're now standing just short of 3,000 signatories. This in turn brought a great deal of attention to the issue, and the Friends of the Tweed Valley Birthing Service have been joined and supported by many organisations, both local and state members of Parliament. We are lucky enough to have some of those people here with us today. We have Sally Cusack, come on in, she's just saying it, representing Maternity Choices. Anne Kinnear, the CEO of Australian College of Midwives. Caroline Hasty, who started a midwife model run unit in Belmont. Reece Burns, APL State Representative for Tweed on behalf of APL Federal Member for Richmond, Justine Elliott. Dawn Walker, spokesperson for the Greens Party. And we have local mums and mums-to-be who'd like to tell you personally how this affects them. I will now hand over to the first of our speakers to inform you of the effects of this closure on our community. I thank you again for the time you've taken today to be here to listen to our plea, to save our service and heal our hospital.
Meeting for the
first time. A lot of this has been done over social media.
And yes, and Facebook. Wow, it's amazing seeing everybody here today. Thanks so much. This really vital service. I'm a mother from down near Byron Bay, and I have 2 children, and have personal experience, not with this particular service, but with aspects that this service has. And one of those key things is continuity of care. I'd like to ask you a simple question. Do you happen to know what the most effective form of pain relief is? Epidural, perhaps? Crocodile, spinal block? Well, Hannah Darlin, who's the Professor of Midwifery at the University of Western Sydney, and her team found in a recent study that it's continuity of care with a known carer that is actually the most effective form of pain relief. It also offers really high levels of satisfaction for mothers, which has amazing and very vital flow-on effects for breastfeeding and bonding and for the whole family integrating this new child. So I'm seeing lots of nodding heads. It actually also makes really amazing, an amazing indicator, another amazing indicator of the importance of continuity of care is that it actually also means, this study found that it also means that there are 23% lower chances of preterm birth. I think that's just amazing. It really goes to show that that long-term, deep, committed relationship that develops over the months of a woman's pregnancy really can avert serious problems happening during pregnancy and birth. It also makes financial sense for the local health district. This study also found that it costs the local health services $1,000 less for a woman to be under a continuity of care program with a known midwife than a woman who's in routine maternity care services in a public hospital. The other Hospital is a further 30 minutes away from where everybody's being redirected now.
That's
It has
really
been
hot.
found in another recent study published just 2 months ago in the Australian College of Midwives Journal. It was found that there are very strong links between closure of regional services like this and birth before arrival rates, which means people being babies being born on the side of the road. And of course there are corresponding poorer outcomes for those mothers and babies. So yeah, they're two kind of really crucial things. If I had to just pick two really important reasons for keeping this service open. I volunteer for Maternity Choices Australia, which is a national organisation of mothers like me who volunteer our time to support services like this. And there was a particular, I'm going somewhere with this sentence. Yes, if you're thinking about what you can do, I suppose we can talk about that at the end, shall we, the next steps. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to
Hand over now to Anne from the College of Midwives.
Services like this one. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners, past and present on the land on which we stand, and pay my respects to them. And extend their guardianship over this work that we're doing currently. As Rachel said, I'm the CEO of the Australian College of Midwives, we're the voice of midwives across Australia. And I'm here today to support the voice and plea from local women, local families and local midwives to the local health district executives to reconsider this decision to close the birthing service here. The college is here today because we believe in the utmost importance of continuity of care from a known midwife throughout pregnancy, birth and the early days after the baby is born. This promotes the formation of trusting relationships. We know that it brings enormous benefits and significantly improved outcomes, including supporting women to be confident about birthing and then for parenting. This sudden closure of the Tweed Valley Birthing Service comes without consultation and without any sensible, evidence-based information to support a decision which brings uncertainty for women and midwives. Uncertainty about having their trusted midwife with them during the birth of their baby, uncertainty about floods, about birthing on the side of the road, and uncertainty about their birth environment. All of these things are important and will impact on the birth experience and outcomes. They are as important in rural, regional maternity care as they are in the city, if not more so. This decision does not make sense if it's based on safety. There is recently published Australian evidence showing that women who plan to give birth in freestanding or midwifery managed primary maternity units, such as here in Murwillumbah, where doctors are not on site, are less likely to have caesarean section, and their babies are significantly less likely to need resuscitation or admission to neonatal intensive care units. All the indicators of neonatal wellbeing are better when compared to those women who give birth in large obstetric teaching hospitals nearby. And yet, we're told that the reason for this closure is that there are insufficient doctors available with advanced neonatal resuscitation skills available. So what is needed to make a primary care unit safe? Appropriately trained and qualified midwives, tick. The midwives are trained as experts in normal birth and have the skills in maternity emergency management, and this includes neonatal resuscitation. Doctors with these skills are not a prerequisite. This is no different to public home birth services, where there are no doctors on call at all. They need to be well networked with good lines of communication. Again, tick. Use of the ACM National Midwifery Guidelines for consultation and referral. Tick. Protocols for escalation when things go wrong. Collaboration with referral units. This mentions a few of the things that are in place for this beautiful service we have here. They also need supportive, enabling leaders to stand with them and to understand the flexibility and way of working in a midwifery group practice. This decision does not make sense if it's based on finances either, and Sally's referred to those around the savings. Both the Cosmos and Mango trials conducted in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane show that women of low risk, that is straightforward, pregnancy and birth costs us $1,000 less per person in the secondary or tertiary maternity service. This means that for Murwillumbah, the decision to close will add hospital costs rather than save them. This is crazy. So this decision simply does not make sense. More recent studies published in the UK, New Zealand, Scandinavia and here in Australia all support the safety of midwifery care, where women have to travel to seek medical assistance if needed. All these countries have very low rates of baby deaths, with effective transport and communication systems and excellent midwifery and obstetric referral services. In Australia, even in the absence of acute hospital services, we're lucky to have robust guidelines for consultation and referral, and these are the college guidelines. Our college guidelines are endorsed by RANSCOG, highly skilled and capable midwives, visiting obstetricians to refer and consult with, and communication networks second to none. This decision appears ill-informed and simply does not make sense. I call on Mr Crawford, the CEO of the Northern New South Wales Local Health District, and Minister Gillian Skinner to consult before making decisions. Listen.
Yeah.
The advice provided and follow the evidence with diligence. I call on you to reverse this decision and reinstate the Tweed Valley Birthing Service with appropriate support and education for the midwives and respect for your communities. Local maternity services, midwifery managed primary maternity services are the cornerstone of society and add tremendous value to the community, this community, the community of Murwillumbah. Yeah.
That's it, me, Bob.
Would you like to come and say a few words?
How few?
I think we've got everybody's attention, so they're all keen to listen.
Look, fantastic to see you all here. It's so exciting and so great to see the community support for this fantastic service. I really can't add much to what Anne has said and also what you said and Sally said, except to say that I had the immense privilege of setting up Belmont Birthing Service 10 years ago, who are just celebrating their 10-year anniversary of absolutely fantastic care, including home birth. So we started in 2005 on Independence Day, US Independence Day, the 4th of July, and 10 years coming up, there has been safe, local, fantastic midwifery care for the population around that area. In fact, we've had populations all over the place. Everyone wants to go there. I just asked the health service to absolutely reconsider this because it doesn't make sense to me in any shape or form. Yeah. The midwives have to care. The population wants it. So I really, ask them to please reconsider this closure and open it again.
Yeah.
Never will ever, I will fight to my last breath.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's a beautiful service. Thank you.
Thank you. Reece Burns, can I ask you to come up, please?
I hope you all can hear me. Yeah, that's all right. Look, my name's Reece Burns and I'm from the office of Justine Elliott. Justine couldn't be here today because she's in Canberra. She knows about what's happened here in Murwillumbah. She's been raising this in Parliament.
Yeah, good on that.
The fact is, hospitals and health budgets are the responsibility of the state government. That is Thomas George and that is Gillian Skinner, the Minister for Health.
Where are they?
Where are they? Missing in action. Thomas George, missing in action again. He is the man who is responsible for the closing of this birthing unit. The simple fact is, this wouldn't happen on the North Shore of Sydney.
No.
But your local member is quite happy for it to happen in Murwillumbah.
Yeah, that's right.
What will this mean for local mothers? Many of you here today. What will it mean for mothers out in Shillington or Yukon or other places? That's right. It could take well over an hour to get to Tweed Hospital. How can we be sure of the safety of our mothers in this situation. We can't. Thomas George is putting our lives at risk and the lives of our children at risk. It also only comes weeks after a state election. How convenient. How convenient. He would have known that this was closing well in advance. But he's given nobody here, no locals, the opportunity to have their say at the ballot box, which is what they deserve, what we all deserve. No opportunity whatsoever. But today you can all send a message to Thomas George and his National Party. You can tell him that he's not going to stand for the closure of this birthing unit.
No way.
Thomas George and his Health Minister, Gillian Skinner, need to reverse this decision. He can do it today. He could do it yesterday. He just has to pick up the phone and ask and tell the Minister that Murwillumbah demands this service be reopened. I want to conclude by thanking you all for all the hard work you're doing, especially Rachel here. She's worked absolutely tirelessly. I'm told there's 3,000 signatures that have been signed on this petition to reopen the service. That's 3,000 people. That's only just the start. So today, let's go from here. Let's tell Thomas George we're not going to take this lying down.
No way.
From the Greens Party.
Thanks, Reese. And look, thank you, Rachel. This has just been an absolute extraordinary effort by Rachel and the friends of the Tweed Birthing Centre and you as a community. I mean, what we're seeing here today is a community that will not stand by and see cuts like this that affect their women, their mothers, their babies and their families. And so we say to you, reopen. Reopen. Murwillumbah Birthing Centre.
Reopen.
Regional centre. And for the time I've been here and had the privilege to live here, the one thing that always stands out to me is that you never ask for much. You don't ask for much. You look after each other, you're a community, you care about each other, but you have a bottom line. And that bottom line has been crossed because you will not see a service that is there for the well-being of your mothers and your babies, Murwillumbah babies, and babies in this surrounding area shut down. That is not acceptable, and that is what you've come here today to say. And you've been saying that on Facebook, you've been saying that in the petition, and believe you me, the politics of this situation means you will be heard. You will be heard on this.
Yeah.
So what I say to you is stay strong, stay together, keep sharing things on Facebook, keep speaking to the media, because this is actually very surprisingly, as Rachel said, it's happened so quickly after the state election, which is unbelievable because Thomas George came within a hair's breadth of losing this seat, a hair's breadth. And in fact, Adam Guys from the Greens, who nearly took that seat away from him, is here today.
Yeah.
Where is Thomas George? Adam Guys is here, and the Greens will stand with you because this is a community issue. The other thing that you need to keep remembering is the time is right, because that budget, that state budget, where the money's coming from, and these decisions always come down to money, that is being deliberated right now. So that state budget will be released in June, and you need to make sure that this decision is reversed, the money is found, it should be there, it can be there, and we're going to make sure it will be there to open this birthing centre. So well done.
Thank you.
Just like to bring in the Tweed Mayor who's just arrived today.
As you know, there's a state government matter and on local government, but it has a significant impact on the people of the Tweed, so it concerns me gravely. The Tweed Shire, and particularly Murwillumbah, is being gradually eroded away, and our services are being cut day by day. Our courthouse is only open a few days a week. Our sheriff has been moved over to Lismore. Our office in the courthouse there has been shut down a few days a week, and they're being sent to Lismore down the coast to Tweed now. And so that was a vital part of the middle of our town, and this is a big part of our town. It employs a lot of people. It services a lot of the Tweed residences. People from the Gold Coast even come down here to have their children here. And as we heard from out the back here, generations of our local families have been born in this hospital, and it can't shut. We are not happy with the state government whittling away with the services of this hospital. Just blow by blow, they keep going. These ministers, the Premier, our local minister, the health minister, cannot hide behind the faceless bureaucrats who've cut the services here. It's up to them to tell their staff to get an obstetrician up to this hospital. So good on you all today, and our Shire is right behind all of you.
Yeah.
I think we should bring out some of the mums who are this affects right now, mothers who are due to have their babies really shortly. So if I could bring out Michelle, Donna, Zoe, and George. We fathers too. Fathers count in this too. There's going to be a lot of responsibility on the hands.
Yeah.
Take 2 seconds to say who you are, how pregnant you are, when your baby's due, and how this affects you right now. Do you want to start with Philip?
My name's Donna. I'm a Murwillumbah resident that's due in 10 days, and found out last Tuesday that I'll no longer be able to birth at this facility, which brings a lot of fear. And I was really confident in the midwife and the services, and now I just lack that confidence having to go to Tweed, which will be 30 minutes by car. 5 minutes away now, so we were looking very forward to labouring at home, having a nice relaxing birth here when I got here, and now it's going to be at Tweed where the facilities are much more stretched, and I just don't feel as confident.
My name is Michelle Seamer. I'm due in 8 weeks, but I'm a Murwillumbah resident also. I'm due for my 4th baby. My last baby, my 3rd, she came within 1 hour. And it's no knowledge that labour's half in time, so we'll be stretching it. We'll probably be speeding on the motorway because there is nowhere to pull off. So I'll probably give birth in the car. Now, my other alternative was to birth at home, but it's just dangerous. It brings in a lot of danger to myself, to my unborn baby, to my husband, who stresses in these situations. He's not going to be great on the motorway. We're recently moved here. Murwillumbah is a growing area. We had this service here. I've been through the midwife practice before, from where I lived back at Gosford, and it's a fantastic service. They only take low-risk pregnancies anyway. My first 3 were straightforward. I'm confident that this one will be straightforward. I just want to give birth, be comfortable, no stress.
As if you're right.
Not in my car.
We actually found out that I was pregnant the week we moved to Murwillumbah, and we're first-time parents. We don't know what we're doing. No one really told us how terrifying being first-time parents is. And there's only so much information you can get from a 15-minute doctor visit. I got very sick early on in the pregnancy, and we were quite socially isolated. It was a bit not good. And it wasn't really until we got in touch with the midwives here that we started feeling more relaxed and more confident. I mean, they not only spent literally hours with us going through the process here, showing us the facilities, but they've spent the last few months making sure that we were comfortable with what was happening, really restored both of our confidence. And we're both quite nervous about the idea of going somewhere completely unfamiliar, and to give the midwives 4 days notice is a slap in the face. I mean, they've literally worked with us the entire way through and deserve better. It's a slap in the face to us and our other families who've worked with them, who've developed relationships with them. You know, I feel confident that when push comes to shove, that they'll make good choices on my behalf. I know them because they've gotten to know me. It's also a slap in the face for the community who seems to have to fight every few months to stop a service being closed down in the hospital. That's not okay.
So, thank you very much. We've heard from everybody now, and I just want to hand over to Sally just to wrap things up and thank you again for being here and let you know what we're going to do now, because this has obviously just been such a roller coaster ride. So much has happened so quickly, but we need to know what we're going to do to carry this on and get the result that we require.
Yeah, so thanks again, Rachel. Fantastic turnout today. One thing just before I go into the few points I have here, I can share these notes out with people. I would just like to ask Reese if he is still here from Justine Elliott's office. There is in fact something that our federal politicians can do. There is a national maternity services plan drafted 5 years ago. It's barely been acted on, and that's meant to be operating from the federal level with instructions to all of the state health ministers to stop all of this, the fragmentation of services, and to bring things into national lines. So I really call upon Justine and her colleagues to support the health minister in actually implementing the national services plan. We're at the bottom going, please, and there's such a block there. So really, National Maternity Services Plan, you can Google it, you'll find it. So I've got here some little there's nowhere near enough for everybody, but they're 3 simple points, and maybe you've addressed these already anyway. We have a very, very active Facebook page, the Friends of the Tweed Valley Birthing Service. Please at least like that, and that will help you stay in touch with and help us continue to connect with you. There's also on the Northern New South Wales Local Health District website, if you click through to that, there's a link there, but if you look for the comments and complaints section, you can write a letter that goes directly to Chris Crawford, who's the CEO of the health service, and tell him why you want this service to stay open. Every single one of those, they're very diligent with it. The local health district reads every single one of those letters or submissions that when you click submit, it's actually read to someone and they must answer it. So please do that. Bill was born here 66 years ago.
Yeah.
He wants the service to have. He's happy to say it.
Hi guys, my name's Phil, and I called on Trusty morning on the 1st of June 1949. Was 66 years ago. My parents were banana farmers at Tomlin Mountain. So imagine if you're on Tomlin Mountain now and you had to go to Tweed Heads. Yeah. I've had 2 sons born here, and I'm with all you guys. These guys are idiots to even think, to consider to shut it. Who are they? Where are they? Yeah. They need pulling in the line. Thank you. Yeah. I believe another 66 years.
Okay. Living proof of what a positive birth experience. And the second last thing I was going to mention is that there's an online petition that you've probably all seen. Please help us continue to grow that. And the link to that is on the slip of paper. It's also on our Facebook page.
There's also some paper copies of it around town for those of you that aren't on to you know, the electronic side of things. So please sign those paper petitions in town as well.
And the other things that we're doing is the College of Midwives, where we've asked Julian Skinner for a meeting, and we're also going to meet with the Chief Nurse and Midwifery Officer of New South Wales and the CEO of New South Wales Kids and Families, because they develop the policy that informs the local health districts and what they do. And so I've heard that there's a review, there's a document called the Guide to Role Delineation of Health Services. Basically it says this is a level 2 maternity service and you should have this, this and this. And in the current one it says you've got to have doctors doing neonatal resuscitation. They're reviewing that and it's being consulted on at the moment. We should be all trying to have a say about what's in that document, and we're approaching the government to consult with us about that. So please engage in that. And I know that people from the Department of Home are coming to Lismore for this district. I think it's on the 12th of June. It's soon. So watch out for it.
Actually, that's something that we're involved in. One of the main things, one of the other things that Maternity Choices Australia volunteers do is provide consumer representation to local health services. And we're looking for more people, more voices. So if anyone here feels even the slightest calling to just, it's really very easy and it's actually fun to have your say when you sit at a meeting with all of these bureaucrats and they want to hear from you. They do actually really want to hear from us. It's not that they're trying to avoid us. We just need to get a little more organised. So please come and talk to me or Rachel about getting involved and having a say in our local health services. And just one last little thing for the mums who are expecting very soon and don't have another plan, I'm very happy to help talk them through their options as well, and even simple things that we can all do, like the 2 or 3 simple things you can do in the event of an unassisted emergency birth. There are very few very simple things that we can all learn to make it less of an emergency.
Less scary.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be talking because I'm only I shouldn't really be talking here because I don't know anything about the hospital. I haven't worked here since I was 65 when I was brought to the NDG. That was no bloody good. That's a hospital. That's a pre-legal state.
Okay, we're going to go now.
I did work for over 40 years in nursing homes in my own practice. Retired last year. But I was just going to say, I don't know anything about this. I was shocked as you were when I read in the paper the other day that this place was closing. Because I came here in 1953 and 7 GPs in 6 practices delivered about, I think when I left the hospital when I was 65 and I'm 91 now, I was delivering 100 babies a year, and my husband, who did have a higher degree in obstetrics, was delivering 50, and I was delivering because I was the lady. And, but if we had any problem in those days, there were at least 6 GPs in the town who were not specialist obstetricians, but they delivered a lot of babies, 100 a year each. And they could do a Caesar here in 20 minutes, and I could give the anaesthetics. And some of them could give the anaesthetics too. But I can't, everything's changed. It all changed, of course, with the suing that happened against doctors. You know, some years ago, everyone started suing doctors. If a baby died, well, doctors would be sued practically. And in those days, we worked in a public hospital under Medicare for nothing in the public hospital. So we didn't really have that much money in those days to be sued. But we were sued, and everyone became very worried about it. Well, worried about all this. But I mean, I don't know anything about this, and I really shouldn't be quoted. But we've now, in our day, we used to have to work 24 hours a day, about 7 days a week on call all the time. And one of us was on every day for casualty. We called up for accident emergency. And in the weekends, every 3rd weekend, we did 48 hours in the casualty emergency. Going for nothing, but that's beside the point. It's all good experience. And but now they've got trained doctors who are accident and emergency doctors here, doing 3 lots of 12 hours. No, 8 hours. 8 hours. Very well trained, and I think most of them to do it now have to have done a course if they couldn't put a tube down a baby and artificially inspire the baby if it wasn't going to breathe, which is very rare, it does happen, they can be called on because we've got an expert here in an emergency, or we should have. As I say, I really always feel like saying don't quote me because I don't really know what goes on in the hospital now. But I'm appalled at this, absolutely appalled. And some years, a couple of years ago, I was at the hospital with the people for the last 27 years, and the director of the hospital, who is now situated in Tweed Heads, not here, came up to the meeting, and she got up and congratulated them on the fact that they delivered 120 babies a year, that year or something in this hospital. And I thought, oh God, it's slow these days. But anyway, and two times somebody introduced her to me. And I said, well, I'm very pleased that you think they've done well to deliver 120 babies here, but I said 7GPs used to deliver up to 600 here. One year, just before I left, I think I counted 635 that particular year. And I said, we could only one of them had extra training in obstetrics other than on the job for years of experience. And I said, I think it's much better for these people to stay here and be sent for a season now, an emergency season for 3 days in the middle of the night. I said, I think that's absolutely appalling to be sent in the dark, told their baby is obstructed and the baby might die unless we get the Tweed Heads and get a Caesar. And in the middle of the night, in the black, in the dark, maybe bleeding or had an antepartum hemorrhage or something, how much safer they would be here to be here. And even if they had to call, even if they didn't trust a local GP to do it and had to call a specialist Tweed Heads, it would be better for them to be here.
I think you're a dying breed, finding doctors who are willing to be available on call at all hours of the night. It's very, very rare now.
Yes. I still, when I just read about it, I thought, well, you've got all these people now paid to do what we did for nothing for 30 years, but for so many good dollars for 8 hours service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they've all got little diplomas of accident and emergency. And if they couldn't put a tube down, resuscitate somebody, including a baby, well, what are they here on?
So it's fabulous. Sign the petition, be active, write letters, and keep in touch with the Friends of the Birth Centre website. Engage with Maternity Choices and ourselves, the College of Midwives, and we'll do our best to help you protect what's rightfully yours here.
Folks, I'm Sean from the Weekly. I see we're starting to lose a few people. I hear there's a few young ones getting a little grizzly.
Thanks. Yep.
I just want to get a really nice group shot for the cover of the paper this week to help push this issue along. And I just ask everyone to sort of push up into this area. I'm going to be standing on this picnic table.
Excuse me, people, before we do that, my name's Martin Sullivan. I'm a recent arrival in Murwillumbah. The obvious thing here at this meeting is the number of young women. It is overwhelmingly a meeting of young women.
Come on, people, do the photo.
Now that should be conveyed.
Listen while you walk.
Sorry. That should be conveyed by way of a motion of this meeting. So I'm moving that this meeting, overwhelmingly made up of young women, deplores the decision to close the birthing unit and urges the minister to immediately reverse her decision. I move that motion.
Carried. All in favour?
Yeah.
Alright folks, we can push up in between this table here in the front of the hospital. We'll go right up to the, right up in behind.
Let's go, Bob. Let's have it. Rosie.
Thank you.
Mangla, how's it going? Hey.
I just wanted one. Just
Oh.
looking around for you.
Hey, thanks for being here.
All the way up the back. We want to show how many people are here, guys.
It's just a photo shoot. Just people at the back, you just don't. They just make up numbers in the background. Used to that. I'm used to seeing that sort of thing happen all the time. Been to too many protests.
I agree with you. It's amazing different. Yeah.
Right now, some of you guys from about where Adam's standing in the red t-shirt here. Everyone to the left of him is not in the shot. I want you to go right back up the back. We want to show how many people are here.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Let's keep moving back.
And the pregnant one. Just shows hair. On the stairs, gone down.
Oh, damn me, Bob. Hey.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Happy birthday, me boy. In advance. Stay small, Papa.
Sorry.
That's right. Papa. Papa. It's an emergency.
Except my arms are aching from holding up signs for an hour. I'm sure.
So as someone else had suggested in regards, yep, over my dead body, this is going to be closing here. Indeed, we have an emergency.